All right, so if you're following along today, go ahead and go to mykw.kw.com and get signed in. Right now I'm on the home page of MyKW. We're going to be working within eEdge to access some of our marketing materials. We're going to go over setting up a campaign and creating some marketing materials, some print, and some email pieces. So once you're on the home page of MyKW, we're going to go up to our eEdge control panel up at the top center. And to get into eEdge, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to this plus sign next to My Marketing and click on that. And we're actually going to click this first option, which says Create Marketing Materials. Once this loads, this is going to bring us into the Marketing Center. This is where we can access our email marketing, print marketing, as well as our campaigns. We can also access any images that we've uploaded into eEdge and any mailing lists. But before we actually create any marketing materials, we want to make sure that all of our information that will go on the marketing materials is correct. So to do that, from this page, we're going to go up to the top right and click on Account. And from here, I'm going to click this first option, which says My Account. All right, this is our My Account page in eEdge. This is our contact information that shows up on our eEdge website as well as any marketing materials that we create. So it's really important to make sure that all of this information is updated before we create something. This will save you some time. If you make sure everything is good to go on here, you won't have to update it on your marketing pieces. And what's really cool is if you do see something that's incorrect on like a campaign or a flyer you're working on, you can come in here and update it, and it'll update on all of your pieces right away. So to edit this, I'm going to go up to the top left and click the blue Edit button. That's basically going to unlock this and give us the ability to make changes. So I'll just point out some of the more important things that we want to make sure that are correct. Display name. This is the name that's going to appear on your website and your marketing material. So you want to make sure that this is your name. Maybe you're using like a team name or something like that. You want to make sure that that is correct in this box. You can also add in things like designations or title. Over here on the right, we have places for our phone numbers. We have a spot for a mobile number, a cell phone, and an office number. There isn't a way to change these. We can't switch out these icons. We can't change the order, but you do have the option to have whatever numbers you want in here. Maybe you only want your cell phone number. You can actually just delete the office number and only this portion will show up. You can have the same number for both, like what we have here. You can have your office number. Maybe you have your own extension. Maybe you only want an office number and you actually put your cell phone in that box. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you, but we can't remove these icons or switch them. These actually won't show up on the marketing materials. These just show up on the website, but the phone numbers will. All right, over here, external email. So we need to make sure that we have an email in this box that is separate from our eEdge email. So this is our eEdge email here. This email is really only used for when you receive messages like on your eEdge website or when you send out any marketing pieces from eEdge. They are always sent from this email. But we want to make sure that we have an external email in this box. This could be your kw.com email. It may be maybe a separate email that you've created, like ours is scott@scottleroymarketing.com. Maybe you have a Gmail or a Yahoo that you're using, but whatever your external preferred business email is, you want to make sure that that is in this box. And directly below that, the marketing and reply to email. So we always set this up. If you're setting this up for the first time, it may have eEdge email selected. You'll want to click on that and choose the external email. So we want to make sure that these two match. This is really important because if anybody replies to anything that you've sent out from your eEdge email, the responses will come to your preferred business email. So we like to set this up because more than likely this is an email that you're actually using. You're checking it every day, multiple times a day. So we want to make sure that you get those replies as soon as possible. So we set it up so that if anybody replies to a campaign or any email flyers you send out, the response will go to whatever is in this box. Same with the marketing email. On your email pieces that you create, there is a spot in the footer with a link to your email, and it shows it's underneath like your email signature. It'll show your name, your phone number, your email address. This is the email address that'll appear there. Marketing website, this is whatever website you are using for your business. This could be your eEdge site, the one ending in kwrealty.com. It may be your Playster site, which ends in kw.com, or maybe you bought a custom domain like we have scottleroymarketing.com, or maybe you have just like a totally different website you want to use. It's up to you, but just make sure you have your preferred marketing website in this space. Below that, the marketing address. Please make sure that this is your office address and not your home address. My mobile app. So on our campaigns and email pieces that we can create, there's actually a link at the bottom that says click here to download my app. So we want to make sure that your mobile app code is in this box. If we've done a setup for you, this should be here. If you are missing this, this can be found in the 4.5 section of the eAgency site. But if you don't, I don't actually have access to that on Scott's account, unfortunately, but if you are having trouble finding this mobile app code or URL, let us know and we can definitely help you out with this. It's usually something like app.kw.com/ and then like a jumble of letters at the end. But like I said, if you are having trouble locating this, let us know and we can help you find that. So once all of this information is correct, we can go ahead and hit save. And like I said earlier, this will actually update right away. So you can go back into your marketing materials or whatever you were working on, and it will now have the correct information. Down below that, we do have some options to add in social media. If you have a custom mobile URL, do you place it here? Yeah, definitely. Maybe you bought like a domain like scottsmobileapp.com. You could put that here, definitely. And I'll just reply here too. Perfect. Yeah, great question. All right, so for the social media options on your website, and I think on some of the email pieces, you can add in the option to have links to your social media. It'll have like a little Facebook icon, LinkedIn. They can click on that and be directed to your page. So you can see we have a few here. You can edit these by clicking the little pencil button, and that'll allow you to change the URL. You can delete it by clicking the little X. And then you can add new profiles by clicking Add Social Media. So to find your social media URL, you basically, like for example for your Facebook, what you would do is you would go to your own Facebook page and look at it as if you were like somebody looking at your page. So like if you were looking at somebody else's page, you would just go to their Facebook page, their Facebook profile, and then copy whatever address is in the address bar. That is how you find the link to your specific page. We don't have an Instagram, but I'll just add one in. It's usually something like instagram.com/ScottLeroyMarketing. I can click save and that'll add that in right away. Down at the bottom we have our images section. We have 3 different spaces here. We have our website image. This is the profile picture used on your website. Next to that is a marketing image. This is going to be on your email campaigns, your flyers, your listing presentations, what have you. Most of the time these are the same. You can have the same photo in both of these boxes like we have here. Some people like different images on different things, so you can have different photos. It's really just your preference. Over here to the right, you don't need to put your headshot in here. This is the marketing logo. You also don't need to add in just like a generic KW logo. If we've done a setup for you, you probably have your office's custom logo here. A lot of the Keller Williams offices have their own logo, like it'll say Keller Williams Town Square or Keller Williams Preferred Realty, what have you. So if you do have a logo like that, you can put that in here. If you have your own custom logo, like the Scott Leroy Marketing Team logo, you can add that in. You can also add in a QR code if you'd like. You are all given a QR code for your mobile app, so that's a great thing that you can put in here. That would go great on your print materials. You can also create a QR code for free if you want to link it to your website, what have you. But those are some good examples of things to put in the marketing logo box. You don't need to add your headshot over here. So once everything is good to go on this page, we have all of our correct information, we can actually go back in and start creating some marketing materials. So I'm going to go back up to the top and I'm going to click on the marketing button. And I'm going to start by showing you guys some campaigns. So I'm going to click on this middle option, Manage Campaigns. Alright, so this brings us to the My Campaigns page where we can see all of our campaigns that we currently have set up. Up here at the top you can see we have some options to kind of filter through these. This is great if you have a lot. We don't have too many on here, but right now we're showing all of them. So next to show I'm seeing any status, but you can change this to active, inactive, paused, or completed if you want to see specific campaigns. I'm also looking at any schedule, but we do have different campaigns based on date, interval, and then birthday and anniversary. So these are all of our campaigns we have right now. It looks like all of these are paused, so these aren't actually running. The monthly newsletter, this will always say active, but don't let that freak you out too much. If you don't have anybody on here, you can see it says 0 contacts and 0 groups. This isn't actually sending out, but it will always say active. I'm going to start by creating a new campaign. So I'm going to go up to the top right and click on the blue button that says Add New Campaign. One of the first things that you'll probably do when you join Keller Williams is try to get a campaign set up as soon as possible. I know a lot of the offices really push this. You need to have your database imported. They always say maybe start with your SOI, your sphere of influence, so family, friends, coworkers, people like that. And you can add those in. We can actually add in those contacts for you. So if you have your lists, you can send those over to us and we can help you with importing. But once you have your database in here, you want to start out by setting them up with a campaign. So right now we're on the campaigns page. There are 64 different campaigns. I'm just going to go through them and kind of show you guys the different kinds. Up at the top of this list, we're looking at them based on title, but I think it actually starts with the newest ones. Like this is the new 33 Touch for this year. This is the brand new 33 Touch campaign. The first campaign that they actually recommend setting up is a 33 Touch. This campaign goes out twice a month for the whole year. They usually run April to April, but it started a little later this year. I think it went like May to May or May to June or June to June, something like that. But these campaigns, like I said, this is the 33 Touch, goes out twice a month. If I'm interested in this campaign, I can actually go down and click on this little button that says Show Campaign Step Details. And this will expand and we can actually see what the pieces are in this specific campaign to see if we like it. The 33 touches are usually a mix of something like fun or informative, and then for one part of the month, and then the other part they will get a real estate newsletter. So I'll just click on this. I can click on the thumbnail and this will pop up and I can see what the piece actually is. So this would be like that kind of informative piece, 5 tips for choosing a new neighborhood. It's usually something like kind of fluffy and cute. And then of course your information is down at the bottom. So that's an example of like the first part of the month that they'll get, or maybe the second, one part of the month. And then they'll also be receiving a This Month in Real Estate newsletter. So if I click on this thumbnail, this will give you an example. This campaign, yeah, it started in June. So it's usually something like this, and they update this for every month. We'll actually go more into this specific campaign, and I can show you guys what that looks like. But like I said, that's a 33 touch. They have the newest ones up here at the top. You have them for individuals, and then you can see here this one says team. So when you are setting this up, make sure that you choose the right one. So that's that 33 touch. I'm just going to keep scrolling down. I don't want to get to the 8x8s yet. Alright, so after 33 touch, the next campaign is a 12 direct. So this is a once a month campaign for the whole year. These are great for like past clients, people that you don't really want to bug so much. You don't want to, people who you don't really want to send maybe 2 emails a month. You can put them on a 12 direct, which is once a month. These are usually like this one's a happy and healthy home. They used to have a seasonal one. I don't know if they have that yet. Oh yeah, here we go. So this one's like home ownership know-how, and then seasonal tips. So I'll go ahead and show you what this one looks like. I'm going to expand this, and let's see. See, this is a piece for winter. Winterize now to avoid costly repairs later. Fun little seasonal things in here. Like I said, these go out once a month for the whole year. This is the new one for 2018-2019. And you'll also see on these campaigns, like this one, Did You Know? Let's go all the way back up to the top. So this is a 12 direct Did You Know? Ooh, this isn't even the top. Okay, so you'll see on here that there's like there's a handful of different versions of this. So the first one is the email campaign. Of course, this one's free. This one's just emails. There's also a multi-channel. So this one would be emails and postcards. If I expand this, you'll see how this works is the person will get an email one month, and then a postcard the next month, and then an email and a postcard. So you will actually be paying for these. You'll be paying for these postcards. There's the same campaign, 12 direct Did You Know, but it's just print. So this would be one postcard every month. And then it starts over. And then it's the same things, Did You Know for team email, Did You Know team multi-channel, and Did You Know team print. So just keep that in mind and make sure that when you're setting this up, you're choosing the right one. And of course, those email campaigns are free, so we always recommend getting those set up. So those are the 12 directs. I'll keep scrolling down. There are some more 33 touches here that you can check out, and I definitely recommend going through and looking at all of these so you can see which campaign you like the best. And then of course we have our 8x8s. These are for buyers or sellers. These are great for people who you need to pursue a little more aggressively. You wouldn't want to set up your SOI, your friends, your family on this because these go out once a week for 8 weeks. And like I said, they're for buyers or for sellers. It doesn't really make sense for just like acquaintances and people like that. But this is great for maybe people that you met at an open house, your sellers, people you just want to have your name and face in the forefront of their mind. You want to set up on an 8x8. So let's see. Like I said, they have these for buyers or for sellers, and of course there's just email, multi-channel, or print. You can decide which one works best for you. There's a ton of these. Now we're into sellers. And if we keep scrolling down, there's just a couple more campaigns I want to point out. There's actually a birthday greetings campaign. This is great. If you do have your client's birthday information, I recommend adding that in. And then you can add them onto this birthday campaign, and then it'll send them a nice little happy birthday message on their birthday every year. This one's super cute, wishing you a wonderful birthday. So that's really nice to receive. So that's a birthday campaign. There's also a mobile app campaign. It's 5 email steps, and that's why it was really important to have your mobile app URL in that box, because you do have the option to set up this campaign as well. So if I click on this, these are just campaign steps that have information about the mobile app. And then you can see that link here, download my app now. They can click on that and then actually download your branded app. I know, like when the mobile app came out a few years ago, offices were really pushing having a lot of downloads, and they were having contests for people. So I don't know if offices are still doing that, but this is a great way to get people to download your mobile app and start using it. And then down here at the bottom, we also have a purchase anniversary campaign. This is for your buyers. You can actually add in their purchase anniversary date into their little contact information, their little profile in here, and then set them up on the purchase anniversary campaign. So that's pretty cool. They'll get a nice little happy anniversary message every year. So I'm going to scroll all the way back up, and we're going to start by just setting up a 33 touch, because that's, like I said, usually what most of you will be setting up first. So once you've found the campaign that you like and you want to set up, you can go over to the right and click on the button that says choose this template. Alright, so once this opens up, it does bring you into step 2 first, review and configure steps. I'm actually going to minimize this so we can go through in steps 1 through 4. So I'm going to click on the title here, and that's just going to close this little drop down. So there are 3 steps to setting up our campaign. Step 1, if we click on this is just renaming the campaign. You don't have to do this. This is really just for your benefit to keep track of people. Say this is a 33 touch and you have multiple 33 touches set up for different groups of people. Maybe this one is for my friends and family. I would title it that just for my, just so I can keep track and know who is on this. So if you want to change the title, you can do that and click Save and Continue. Alright, so step 2, review and configure steps. So this campaign, a 33 touch and also the 12 directs, those are date campaigns. So they are based on a specific calendar date. So this won't actually, it's like I said, this campaign started in June. It's now October, almost November. So when we add people onto this campaign, they're not going to go back and receive those first emails that everybody else has received. They're actually just going to jump into where this campaign is within the calendar year. So they're going to start by receiving this piece on November 1st. There are interval campaigns, so for example the 8x8s, those go out based on when you add someone to it. So when you add somebody to an interval campaign, they will usually get the first email the following day, and then like a week later, what have you. But these 33 touches are actually based on specific dates. So you can see the schedule here. This first one that they're going to receive is on November 1st. If you wanted to change that, you can click on the little calendar button. You can actually choose a different date on here, which is pretty cool. It starts on a Thursday. Maybe I want to change this to Friday, November 2nd. Down here below, there's the email subject. Is it time to restructure your mortgage? You can actually change this if you'd like. Make it a little more exciting, add an exclamation point. And then over to the right, there is the thumbnail where you can see what the piece will actually look like. So if I click on this, it's going to pop up. And if you think this is good to go, you don't have to make any changes. That's the great thing about these 33 touches. You don't really have to do anything. But maybe you want to go in and customize this. I'm going to click Close, go back up. And if I want to make changes to this piece, I can click Personalize, and we can actually go in and make some edits. All right, so this is our email piece. You can see it here. And I'm just going to play around with this and kind of show you guys how we can make changes to this. If you want to change the text, you basically just click in here. It's kind of like editing in Microsoft Word or any other sort of like word processor. I'll go ahead and highlight this, make some changes. You can change the text. I can highlight this. I can actually go up to this little toolbar here, and there are some different fonts that I can change this to. I can change the font size. Whoa, that looks a little crazy. I'm going to leave it there. I can change the text color. I usually just make this super ugly during this class. I can change out this photo if I wanted to. If I click on the photo, I can click upload image and then actually choose an image from my computer if I wanted to use something that I have saved. These are all of my photos. So all of my photos that I've uploaded into eEdge are actually here. And then there are some stock photos as well. Let's see, let's just add in something weird. Let's add in this guy golfing. Okay, cool. So you can go in and there are some stock photos in here that you can use. I can change this around, make it smaller. As you can see, this is kind of positioned to the left. I'm going to use the text alignment tool and make it centered. So you basically just click around in here and edit this. You can take out this whole section if you want and put in something else. Let's say you wanted to add a video. So I'm going to go and put my cursor where I want to put the video. I just clicked here and hit enter, and that moved me right down here. And we can actually add a video in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this little insert video button. It kind of looks like a film strip with a play button on it. If you wanted to add a photo, you could hit insert image and it'll basically take you through the same process we went through with this. But I'm going to click insert video, and it says submit your video URL here. So you can't upload videos directly from your computer onto here. They do have to be on YouTube or Vimeo, it's really easy to upload videos to YouTube or Vimeo, but they do have to be online first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to slmtraining.com. And this is one of our pages where we have some of our training classes. This class will actually be on this website after this. But let's say I just want to add one of these videos. I'm just going to click on any video, and what you're going to do is you just want to go to it like you're going to watch it. So once this starts, let's see, let's skip. Okay, so say I wanted to add this video, I can just come to this page like I'm going to watch it, and then all I have to do is go up to my address bar and copy this. I'm just copying the address of this video. I'm going to go back to my tab with the piece we're editing, and now I just have to paste this in. Once I hit submit, you can see it plugged in our video. Super cool. So now all I have to do, I can actually drag this open. Let's just make sure that this works. This looks a little crazy. Is this right? Oh yeah, that's definitely right, templates. Okay, so this is just like a screenshot of one portion of the class, but it'll add in your video. You can see it here. I can drag this to make it bigger or smaller. I'm going to use that text alignment tool again to center it, and now my video is there. So this is great if you have, like, maybe you're adding in an intro video or like a monthly update video. It's very easy to add in your videos to your email pieces. And then you can see down at the bottom, this is our information that was plugged in from that first page that we edited. There's a generic little KW logo in there, our photo, our contact information. You can still make changes to this if you want to. And then down at the bottom, these are those links I talked about. Click here to download my mobile app. This is that marketing and reply to email. People can actually click on it. And then the marketing website. So once this is good to go, you can click Save. Make sure you're hitting that Save button as often as possible. There's nothing worse than creating a whole piece and then having something happen, having your computer freeze or what have you, and then you lose it. So make sure you hit Save. And once you've done that, you can click Exit. That brings us back into step 2, review and configure steps, and now we can go back into this piece that we were editing. When we click on the thumbnail, we can actually see that it has been updated and it looks good to go. So that was step 1. I'm just going to move through the rest of these. So that was the first part of this campaign. The next one, the next step, step 2, is an activity. And this is just a reminder for you to edit your This Month in Real Estate newsletter. So for these, like I said, they will receive like this kind of email piece and then a monthly newsletter. The monthly newsletters aren't available for editing until about, I think it's like, yeah, 9 days. It's usually 9 or 10 days before it actually goes out. So on the 5th, it's going to tell you, hey, you can go in and make changes to your newsletter. The newsletter is going to go out on the 14th. This is just because they don't have the information yet. This is a November newsletter, so they don't quite have that info just yet. But once it hits November 5th, you can actually come in here and then you'll be able to click this personalize button and make changes to the newsletter. So that basically continues on for the rest of the month. This is pretty cool because you don't actually have to make changes to any of this. They like to say set it and forget it. So you can come in here and just scroll all the way to the bottom, and if you don't really care what it says, you think the information's good enough, it's just important that they have your contact info, then you can go down here and click Save and Continue. And it's just going to save all your steps. Step 3 is Add or Remove Contacts. This is how we can add people to this campaign. I'm going to click on that. This brings us into the Groups tab first. We can see all of our groups here. We have a lot. And I'm just going to add somebody on here. I'm going to add my coworkers group. I'm going to click the Add button. You can see that pulls them over from the left to the right. The cool thing about adding groups, so what this means is it's adding everybody in this group to this campaign, but when you add the actual group itself, anyone who you add to this group in the future will automatically be put on this campaign. So in the past, you used to have to, like, even if you added somebody to a group and everybody on that group was in the campaign, you would still have to manually add that new person. They basically took out that step for us, which is awesome. It makes it a lot easier. So now all you have to do is add the group, and if you ever add anybody new to this coworkers group, they will automatically be put on the campaign with everyone else. So that's pretty cool. I'm just going to remove that so I can show you guys how to add individual contacts. So I'm going to go over to the Contacts tab, showing everybody in my database here. We don't have too many people in there, 5. But same sort of thing, you can click the Add button, move them over from the left to the right, and these are the people that you're adding on there. You can use this little search box. If you have a lot of people and you're looking for someone specific, you can search by name or email here to find them. Sometimes people will ask us the question and be like, hey, you know, it's saying that I only have 3 contacts. I know I have more than that. Right now this box is checked. It's only showing eligible people. So if we uncheck this, let's see if anybody pops up. Yes. Okay. So I am in here. This is now showing people that aren't eligible to be added to the campaign. So this might be people who you don't have an email on file, or people who have unsubscribed, or maybe their email doesn't work anymore. So we can see here, I'm on here once we unclicked this. My email is there, but it says I've unsubscribed, so I can't actually add this contact to the campaign. But I recommend just leaving this box checked. That looks good. I'm just going to go back and add this group again. I'll add this SLM group. Perfect. Once you've added in the contacts you'd like to have on here, you can click Save Changes and that will update. And the last thing we need to do is just review and activate. So I'm going to click Step 4. I always get this pop-up. It says I've made edits that have not been saved, but I know I've definitely saved everything. So If you get this, just go ahead and click continue. I don't know why it does that. All right, review and activate. So the first thing on here, it says once a contact completes this campaign, you can automatically add them to another one. So for this campaign, it doesn't really make sense. This is a 33 touch. This is going to run all the way until June. And once it finishes, you're probably just going to add them onto the new 33 touch for that year. So this really only makes sense for shorter campaigns, the 8x8s, or maybe the mobile app campaigns. Once they're done on a shorter campaign, I recommend adding them to either a 33 touch or your monthly newsletter. For this one, like I said, it's a long campaign. It's basically never going to end until next year, so I'm just going to choose none. I'm not going to add anybody to another campaign after this wraps up. We do have to check these boxes. This one's saying I've reviewed it. We're not spamming anybody. And then if you'd like to include showcase properties, that just adds 3 featured listings to the bottom of the email. So you can click this box and that'll add that in. So I'm going to click activate campaign. And this will reload and bring us back to my campaigns, and you can see it here. So it shows the active campaigns up at the top, and this is the one we just set up. Pretty cool. We can actually pause it and turn it back on from this page. So if I click, you can see it's green, it says active here. If I click on that little button, little switch, it turns off. Campaign name in this first column, or I guess second column, it'll show how many contacts are on there, how many groups. This is pretty cool because if I click on this groups button, it's going to show, and we can actually make changes here. We can add or remove contacts, add or remove groups. Same sort of thing like we just did. Steps, it's showing that there are 18 email steps and 11 reminder steps. Reminders or activities. No mailers for this one. Next campaign, like I said, we said none, but you can change that directly from this page if you'd like. Performance, this is pretty cool. If we click on this, we can view some stats about this. It's going to show who's on there, what the steps are when they're going out, and then information about who opened, clicked, bounced, and unsubscribed. So very useful information here. I'm going to hit that back button. And then duplicate. This is cool if you have created a custom campaign. I won't really have time to go over that today, but we do have some videos on creating custom campaigns. Like, you can basically make your own. You can mix and match pieces from other campaigns, add in your own pieces, change the dates, do whatever you want. So if, for example, you made a custom campaign and you want it for multiple groups, you can hit this duplicate button and it's going to make a copy for you. To delete a campaign, I'm just going to delete one of these. Let's go with this one. We can go in, we can just click on the title. And once that loads, it's going pretty slow. All right, it always brings you into step 2, but I'm just going to minimize that and go into step 4. All right, and then down at the bottom, you can see the option that says delete. Yes, I want to delete this campaign. Click on that, and then that'll actually delete it. Perfect. So that's a little bit about setting up campaigns. If you guys are having trouble with this, we can definitely help you out. So next, let's go in and create some marketing materials, some flyers. I'm going to go back up to this marketing button at the top, and I'm going to click Marketing Center. All right, once again, this is where we first started, where we can access our email marketing, print marketing, and also the campaigns. We're going to start by creating some email pieces. So you can click here for email marketing, or down here on the left, I'm going to click email and video marketing. Alright, so this brings us into the design library. This search options box is going to be your best friend. It's going to help you sort through all the different pieces in here. As you can see, right now we're in the design library. You also have the option to go to your saved designs, but right now we want to see all the pieces that we can. And now we're down at type. So we're looking at email and video right now. We'll go through print, but you can also search by collection, but right now I just want to see everything, so I'm going to leave it on all. But as you can see here, there are 484 different email pieces that you can send out, which is crazy. But it's pretty cool because basically any step of a campaign can be sent out as an individual email. So maybe you set up a campaign and you really liked a certain step and you want to send it to different contacts just as a one-time thing. You can actually search for that here and send it out as a custom email. So you can also use this keywords box. This is going to help you sort through these 484 different results. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for, maybe I'm looking for pieces for buyers. I want a buyer piece. So I'm going to go to this keyword box and I'm going to type in buyers. I can hit enter or hit the search button. And this is going to break this down a little bit. So I always do this. This is interesting to know. I put in buyers, but it only gave me 12 results. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change my search. If you want to search multiple keywords, you can put in another word, hit enter. Right now it's searching buyer and buyers, and you can see it didn't change anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of buyers. I only want to search buyer. This is going to change my search. I'm going to click on this little red X and delete this keyword. Now it's only searching buyer, and you can see we've got a few more results, 117. So just keep that in mind, play around with these keywords and you'll be able to find what you're looking for. I can scroll through here, find whatever buyer piece I'm interested in. Let's do this one. Putting your home in the spotlight. So you can click on the title of whatever piece you're looking for, and as you can see here, this is the email piece. If you're ready to send this out, you can hit compose email, which we will do, but let's go ahead and just personalize this again really quick. I'm going to click on the personalize button, and for these email pieces, this is exactly the same as editing the campaign, so I'm not going to spend too much time changing this around. But here we go. This is our piece, our contact info. I'm just going to make some changes. Let's just make this purple or something to match. Oops. Okay, so sometimes it does this. This is good to point out. I'm clicking in the text, but my little toolbar isn't popping up. I think if you just click on a photo, it's going to kind of kick it into gear and make it start working. So let's go back to text. There we go. And there's my little toolbar. So I'll just change this around a little bit. That looks not very different. There we go. Just going to make a few changes. I usually like adding in a funny animal picture. Let's do this cute little piggy. Perfect. I made my changes. I think this looks good. Like I said, this is just like editing the campaign pieces, so I don't want to spend too much time on this. I'm going to click the save button and then exit. Alright, so now this email piece is exactly how I want it and it's ready to send out. But say you wanted to use this as a print piece, or you want to post it on Facebook, you want to email it in a different email, maybe from your Gmail. You actually can do that. We found a little workaround. So on the print pieces, which we'll do next, there will be a button here that says download PDF, and it'll give you like a nice print quality piece. But you can still work around with these email pieces. So this over here, this little preview, this is actually a JPEG that you can save on your computer. So if I right-click this, once I've made my changes, I can click Save Image As. and I can save this to my computer. So what I just did was it saved this as a JPEG, and now let's try and open this up really quick. There we go. So now with this, it's of course not like an 8.5 by 11, but you can print this out, make this into a flyer. You can actually post this on your Facebook. You can post it on your Instagram. You could put it into the body of another email, like maybe your Gmail or your Yahoo if you're using that. So you can basically work around this and use this in different ways and still be able to post it and email it whatever way you want. But from there, that's pretty cool. We can also just compose an email and send this out through eEdge. Going to click the Compose Email button. And here we go. You can see that it did put it into the body of an email for us. It is kind of hazy. That's because this is HTML optimized. So we can't make changes from in here. So if you do want to make changes to this, you will have to go back and edit the piece again. But this looks good to go. We're ready to send this out. So I'm just going to go back up. You can, of course, change the subject. Let's see, put your pig in the spotlight. There we go. Change the subject. We can't change the date. If you have a pro account, you can change the date and schedule this for a later time. But if you just have a regular eEdge account, we can't schedule it out. It will be sent now. If we want to choose who we want to send this to, you can start typing in people. They can only be sent to people in your database. So if you start to type in an email whose contact info you don't have saved in here, it's not going to work. You actually do have to add them as a contact first. But I can start typing people in. I can also hit the To button. This is very similar to adding contacts to the campaigns. Right now we're looking at everybody, but you can also search by status or by group. You can check the box and it'll switch that around. But basically you can go in, choose your contacts, hit save. You can see they're in here. And once you're ready to go, down at the bottom we do have that option again to add the showcase properties. So if I click the box, that's there. And then you can also attach a file if you wanted to. There used to be a button that said add social media links. They took that out recently and I'm not totally sure why, but yeah. So if you have worked with eEdge before and you're wondering where that is, I'm wondering the same thing. I don't totally know why they took that out. But once this is good to go, you have your contacts in there, the piece looks good, your subject looks good, you can hit send now and this will be sent out to your contacts. So I'm just going to click cancel. I don't actually want to send this to my coworkers. And I'm going to go back to search. Alright, so what that did was I hit back to search and this took me back to my design library, or my saved designs. So right now I'm looking at different saved pieces that I've created. I'm going to go ahead and click out this X. So this is pretty cool. Any piece that you've ever edited in eEdge or saved, you can actually find those here. So it's basically like a database of all your saved work. I'm going to go back to the design library and just show you a couple more things. So right now we were looking at email and video. I'm going to switch this over to print. There are some great print pieces in here as well. Oops, I'm going to uncheck the box for email and video. Alright, so right now we're looking at postcards. You do have to choose print and then specify what type of print. There are 210 different postcards in here. There are also some flyers. In the flyers section there are some newsletters as well, like buyer presentation letters, pre-listing presentation letters, and like a moving forward letter, things like that. Greeting cards. Oh, these are cute. These are new. I have not seen these before. So greeting cards, and then guides. This is where you're going to find your listing presentations. There's buyer presentation, pre-listing presentation, and listing presentation. Those are both for individuals and teams. So once again, make sure you're choosing the right one. I don't think we'll have time to go over these today, but we do have a shorter video on creating listing presentations. You can find that on our YouTube page. And then there are some business cards in here as well. I'm just going to go through and create a flyer really quickly, show you guys how you can create a property flyer. So I'm over on the left, I clicked print, and I chose flyers. Just going to scroll through here, and I usually do this one. So I can click on the flyer that I like. And this is pretty cool. So you can hit personalize and add everything in manually, but if your IDX is hooked up and working, you can actually just start to type in the MLS number or the street address for the property this flyer is for, and it'll actually plug in the info for you. So let's just start checking this out. I don't know what this one is. 312 Acadia Lane. Let's check this out. So you can find your listing. I've chosen this one. I'm going to click personalize. So once, oh, this is nice. Okay. Sometimes I pick them and there's like 2 photos and it's not really a lot to work with. But here we go. So as you can see, it plugged in some of the photos. You do sometimes have to do some rearranging. Like it plugged in the property description. This property description is, wow, that's really long. You may have to kind of move this around. You can see that it did plug this in, but it's super, super long. So I'm just going to delete half of it. There we go. And then, so actually editing these is a little bit easier than editing those email pieces. You do have a little more wiggle room with the print pieces because they're not HTML optimized. So you can move this around, you can, same sort of thing, change the font. There are actually more font choices for the print pieces, which is pretty cool. I'm just going to kind of go through this and show you guys how I edit it. I'm going to edit the text here, make this a little bigger. There we go. We can change the photo. So if we click on this photo, for example, I can replace it, choose a different one, I can crop it, or I can delete it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click replace, and this is cool. So we can upload an image from our computer, we can add a stock image, but since we chose this listing, I can actually click on MLS listings and it pulls in our photos from MLS right into the flyer. Perfect. So you can go through and choose your photos really easily without actually having to upload them. And there you go. So you can mess around with this. I usually change these flyers and kind of rearrange them. Like I'll do this. I will move this over, make this smaller. These forward and backwards buttons, so like this photo is behind this header here. Maybe I want it in front of it. I can use the forward button. And kind of rearrange these. I'm going to change this text. And then what I'll do is I'll usually add in one big photo and then add in some more smaller photos. I'm going to do this really quickly, so please bear with me. I know this isn't going to be the best looking flyer. Add in another image from this. Let's see, this looks nice. And you get the idea. So you can go in here and you can actually customize this quite a bit. Rearrange things, add in more photos, and just kind of make it look a little better. Because some of these templates are a little funky. But yeah, so I mean, this isn't great at all. But you can go in here, make your changes, add in your info, make it look nice and pretty. And then once this is good to go, like I said, I'm just going to keep messing around with this. Make sure you have any required info on here, like any like disclaimers, logos, what have you. Make sure that's all on here. Once this is good to go, pretend this looks really good and we love it. We can go ahead and click save. I usually do the property address. What was this? It was Acadia, I think. Sometimes it does take a minute to save, so let's cross our fingers and hope that this goes a little quickly. Wow, okay, so this is going really slow. Make sure you guys are still here. Okay, cool. Sometimes this happens, unfortunately. I'm just going to give it another second. So I do want to show you guys like what we can do with this. So let's just keep hoping that it saves. Okay, so this is not saving. I'm just going to hit the back button. I'm so sad to leave this. I'm going to try and make this work. Okay, so sometimes this freezes. What I'm going to do is, let's pretend that that actually saved. I'm just going to go into my save. Oh, it did. Okay, so it's in my save designs. Somehow it worked, but it kind of glitched out. Okay, so right now I'm back in my save designs. I can see all my pieces that I've created in the past. So this one actually did save. I'm going to click on that. And let's hope this loads. Okay, so let's pretend that that didn't happen and it just loaded this page like it should have. We can see that this flyer is now good to go. So now what we can do is we can download a PDF. So what you do is you click on this, and this is going to give us a nice, clean, free version of this flyer. It's going to be a PDF, which is great for print, and then you guys can use this for your listings. You can print this out, hand it out, door knock with it, what have you. If you also want a JPEG version of this, you can't post a PDF on Facebook or on Instagram. You can't add a JPEG in the body of an email. Same sort of thing, you can save this to your computer as well by right-clicking, save this little preview. This will give you a JPEG version as well that you can post on your social media. They do also offer printing. I have not done this, so I can't really speak to like the quality or the turnaround time, but I usually tell people to just download the PDF, and then you can buy like a nice pack of paper at Staples and print it at your office, or print it at Staples or Office Max or what have you. But that's a little bit about how you can create a nice print flyer through eEdge. And then say like you made this and you do want to send this out in the body of an email from your eEdge email. Maybe you want to send this to your eEdge database. You can see it doesn't have that like compose email button. We do have a short video tutorial on how you can actually still send this as an email piece in eEdge. So if you are having trouble, you do want to do that, let us know, or check out our YouTube page because we do have a little walkthrough on how to do that as well. We've figured out a cool little trick. So that is actually about it for today. I do want to point out one more time, right now we're in print looking at flyers, but if you go to guides and you're looking at design library, so design library, print, and then guides, this is where you can find those listing presentations. We get a lot of calls about these, and I'll just jump in really quick just to show you guys. These are really easy to create and they're really nice. You can click on the listing presentation you're interested in. You do have to personalize, you can't just download this, but there's only one spot in here that absolutely does require your editing. Man, I apologize. Edge is going a little slow today. Okay, well, on this listing presentation, it's really easy. You basically just go through and same sort of thing as that flyer. You can click around and edit things. You can edit the text. You can remove pictures and text. You can add in your own information. But as I said before, there's only one spot on here that absolutely does require editing. And you can see it here in the preview. Oh my goodness, this is just not working for me today. Well, down at the bottom, there is a part on this first page that says, I think this is like presentation 4, and that says client name. Just make sure if you do this, you edit out client name and change it to your client's actual name. But then the rest of it is just like helpful information, kind of generic info about buyers or sellers, whichever one you're working on. So that is about it for today. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. I know we kind of had a couple little issues with those flyers, but that's a little bit about creating marketing materials within MyKW. If you guys have further questions, feel free to reach out to us. If not, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week. Thank you.